Good evening. I'm glad you're here. Settle in however you feel most comfortable under a blanket, on your pillow, with your shoulders soft and your jaw unclenched. You don't need to solve anything right now. You don't need to hurry. Let the day be done for the moment, and let your breathing slow down naturally, the way it does when you finally step into a warm room after being out in the cold. I'll tell you a quiet story, steady and safe, and you can simply listen and rest. Outside, winter has made the streets look simpler than they do in daytime. The darkness smooths the edges of buildings and turns parked cars into quiet shapes, all of them resting. The sky is a deep, clean charcoal, and the air has that crisp, careful feeling that comes when the temperature stays below freezing for hours. Even the sounds seem thinner outside. Footsteps click and stop. Distant traffic passes like a slow hush, and then the world returns to stillness. A person walks along the sidewalk with their hands tucked into their coat pockets, shoulders slightly raised against the cold. Their pace isn't fast. It doesn't need to be. Their breath appears faintly, a small cloud that forms and disappears in the same steady rhythm out, then gone. In one hand, they carry a simple canvas bag, not heavy, just full enough to swing gently as they move. They stop at a laundromat with a plain sign glowing softly above the door. The sign isn't flashy. It's just bright enough to be friendly, like a porch light left on for someone expected. Through the glass, the inside looks warm, tinted with a mellow amber from ceiling fixtures that don't buzz or flicker, only shine. The windows have a slight fog at the edges where indoor heat meets the winter night. And in the fogs blur the rows of machines look like calm, sleeping faces. When the person pulls the door open, a wave of warm air greets them immediately, as if the room itself has been waiting. The heat isn't sharp. It's a gentle blanket, the kind that loosens the muscles between the shoulder blades. The air carries a soft scent of detergent and clean fabric, not overpowering, just present enough to suggest freshness, like linens dried in sun, remembered in winter. Alongside it is the quieter smell of warm metal and a hint of steam, the honest scent of work being done slowly and well. The door closes behind them with a muted thump, sealing out the cold. The difference is soothing, almost comical. Outside, everything is bright enough and safe enough. The person stands still for a moment, not because they're unsure, but because the transition itself feels like an exhale. They let their shoulders drop. They let their fingers loosen in their pockets. They feel the warmth reach their cheeks and the tips of their ears, thawing them patiently. The laundromat is quiet in a specific way, not silent, but filled with a continuous, even sound. Machines hum with a low, steady voice. Some washers swish and turn with a soft, sloshing rhythm, while the dryers add a deeper, rounder thrum, like a heartbeat that belongs to the room. Every so often, there's a gentle click, a tiny mechanical decision being made, another minute counted, another cycle continuing. Nothing in the sound is sudden. Everything repeats. Everything returns. There are a few other people spaced out across the room, each in their own small bubble of evening routine. Someone sits near the window, scrolling slowly on a phone, face relaxed. Someone else folds a shirt with calm precision, the fabric making a faint whisper as it turns. No one speaks loudly. No one needs attention. It's the kind of place where you can be alone without being lonely, because the steady presence of the room holds you. The person walks toward a row of machines and chooses one that's empty, its round door open like an invitation. They set the canvas bag on a nearby table and unzip it. The sound of the zipper is small and ordinary, satisfying in its certainty. Inside the bag is laundry gathered from the week. Towels, a few shirts, socks, a pair of soft lounge pants. Nothing dramatic, just life in fabric form. They begin to sort without rushing. Whites and colors, towels and lighter items. A small stack for things that want gentler care. Their hands move in an easy rhythm. Pick up, glance, place, smooth. The room's warm air makes the fabric feel less stiff, more cooperative, as if the clothes are glad to be handled kindly. A towel comes out first, thick, worn-in, familiar. They press it briefly between their palms, feeling the weight and the texture. It's slightly rough from use, but in a comforting way, like something dependable. Another towel follows, softer, carrying a faint, clean scent even before washing, because it has been folded and refolded and stored with care. The person lines them up in a neat pile, edges meeting, corners squared, not obsessively, just neatly enough to feel good. They take out a handful of socks, and smile a little at how socks always seem to multiply and vanish at random. They pair what they can. They set aside one lonely sock without judgment, as if it's simply waiting for its partner to arrive in its own time. There's no frustration. Tonight isn't for that. Tonight is for small tasks done calmly. In their pocket, there's a small weight, coins, or perhaps a few tokens, smooth from handling. They pull them out and let them rest in their palm. The metal is cool at first, then warms quickly against skin. The coins make a soft clinking sound when they shift, a sound that feels almost nostalgic, like arcade counters or old vending machines, like simple transactions that never asked for too much. They choose a washer, open the door fully, and begin to load it. Each piece of clothing falls in with a gentle, padded sound. Fabric doesn't clatter, it settles. The drum receives everything without comment. The person adds towels last, because they like the idea of heavier things anchoring the load. Holding the lighter pieces close the way a blanket holds heat. From a small bottle, they pour detergent into the appropriate drawer. The detergent has a clean smell that rises briefly fresh, slightly floral, like air after a quiet rain. Not too sweet, not too sharp, just clean, as if cleanliness were a place you could visit. They close the drawer, and the click is soft and final. Then comes the satisfying step, the payment. The person slides coins or tokens into the slot one by one. Each one makes a distinct, gentle sound, metal against metal, a little drop and catch, like punctuation in the routine. The machine accepts them with calm certainty. There's something reassuring about this exchange. You offer a few coins, and in return, you receive time, warmth, and the promise of clean cloth. They set the settings with a careful turn of a dial. The dial resists slightly, then yields, landing on the chosen cycle with a small, confident stop. They close the round door, and it seals with a firm but friendly latch. The person presses the start button. A light comes on. The washer begins. At first, there's a pause, just a moment of quiet anticipation. Then the drum shifts, water arrives, and the swishing starts. The sound is steady, almost musical in how it repeats. Turn, hush, swish, turn, hush, swish. The person watches for a few seconds, not because they're worried, but because it's calming to see motion that has a purpose and a predictable path. They move to the folding table and arrange the remaining laundry into smaller piles, as if creating order in a gentle landscape. There's no urgency. The cycles will take their time. Time tonight is generous. A dryer nearby spins with a deep, even rumble. Warm air vents softly from its edge, and when the person stands near it, they can feel the heat on their hands, on their wrists, on their face if they lean close enough. The warmth has weight to it, like a quiet hand resting on your shoulder. The person lets themselves feel it fully for a moment, eyes half-lidded, breathing slow. They sit on one of the molded plastic chairs along the wall. The chair is simple but clean, and it holds them comfortably. Above them, the lights cast a warm, non-demanding glow, no harsh brightness, no sharp shadows. Corners of the room soften. The glossy floor reflects little ovals of light like small ponds. Outside the windows, the darkness presses close, but the glass keeps it out. The winter night remains where it belongs, beyond the threshold. The person pulls out a book, but doesn't really read at first. Instead, they listen. The laundromat's sounds layer together. The washers swish, the dryers thrum, the occasional click of a timer, a distant door opening and closing with a muffled sigh. These noises don't compete. They cooperate, like a set of instruments keeping the same tempo. The rhythm is steady enough that the body starts to match it, heart slowing, breath lengthening. A few minutes pass. Someone across the room finishes folding and stacks their clothes in a basket with soft, tidy movements. Another person stands, stretches, and walks to check on a machine. The small actions are quiet and respectful, as if everyone here has agreed without speaking to protect the calm. The person looks back at their washer. Through the round glass, fabric turns in slow circles, colors muted by soap and water. A shirt sleeve presses briefly against the window and slides away. The motion is hypnotic, not in a dramatic way, but in a sleepy way, the way flames in a fireplace can hold your attention without asking for it. They return to their sorting. A few shirts are turned right side out, buttons unfastened. A small cloth bag of delicates is checked, zipper closed. They run run their fingers over seams and collars, feeling where fabric is thick and where it's worn thin. Each garment has a history. Mornings hurried, evenings relaxed, a day spent indoors, a day outside in cold air. Tonight, all those moments are being gently washed away, leaving only softness. The washer continues its cycle. The person stands near it and can feel faintly the vibration through the soles of their shoes, a steady purr through the floor. It's oddly comforting, like standing on the deck of a ship that's moving smoothly through calm water. The machine's certainty becomes contagious. It knows what it's doing, and it will keep doing it until it's done. When the cycle ends, there's a subtle change in the soundscape, like a musician lowering their instrument. The washer's swishing stops. A light changes. A soft chime might sound, but even if it does, it's gentle, polite. The person rises and walks over unhurried and opens the door. Warm, damp air escapes, carrying the stronger scent of freshly washed fabric. It's clean and slightly warm, like comfort made visible. The person reaches in and lifts out the first towel. It's heavier now, soaked, and it drapes over their forearm with a reassuring weight. They transfer items into a basket one by one, each movement steady and mindful. Nothing splashes, nothing spills. The drum is emptied in a calm, methodical way. They move to an open dryer. The door opens wide with a smooth hinge, and the interior is a dark, quiet space waiting to become warm. They load the damp laundry in, separating heavier towels from lighter shirts so everything will dry evenly. The fabric lands in soft heaps, already beginning to relax. Again, the coins or tokens come out. Again, that gentle clink. The payment slot accepts them. The person turns the dial to a cycle that promises warmth without harshness. They close the dryer door and press start. The dryer begins with a low, steady rotation. The sound is deeper than the washer, more like a purr than a swish. Warm air starts to move through the drum, and within minutes, the person can feel the heat blooming around the machine, spreading into the room in small, invisible waves. They stand near the vent for a moment and let the warm air brush their hands. It's not hot enough to sting. It's just warm enough to soften. Their fingers, which were cold outside, now feel fully awake, flexible, and comfortable. They rub their hands together slowly, not for friction, but because it feels good, because it matches the room's rhythm. The person returns to the folding table and begins folding the items that didn't go into the wash tonight. Perhaps a clean set they brought to fold, or perhaps they simply straighten the piles they've made, preparing space for what will come out of the dryer. They like having the table ready, like setting out a quiet landing place. While they wait, they notice small details around them. A bulletin board near the entrance has a few neatly pinned notes. A lost and found reminder, a local notice about a community event, a phone number for machine service. The paper edges curl slightly from indoor warmth, and the pushpins shine softly under the lights. A vending machine in the corner hums faintly of its own accord, a different kind of hum. The glass front shows rows of snacks and small bottles, all lined up like patient travelers. The person isn't hungry, but they appreciate the simple fact that the option exists. Options are comforting when they're not demanding. The chairs along the wall are mostly empty now. The room feels even more spacious, a warm cave of light surrounded by winter darkness. Outside the window, a thin layer of frost has formed at the corners, delicate and feathery. A street lamp casts a pale circle on the snow-dusted pavement, and every time a car passes, its headlights slide briefly over the glass like a slow wave, then fade. The dryer continues its steady tumbling. Inside, fabric lifts and falls, as if breathing. The person watches the door for a moment, letting their mind quiet down. Thoughts arrive, but they don't stick. They drift past like clouds, softened by the room's constant sound. They check the time, not because they're anxious, but because it's part of the gentle ritual. Still, a few minutes left. That's fine. They sit again, elbows resting on their knees, hands loosely clasped. Their posture is relaxed, their face neutral and calm, eyes soft. The warmth makes it easy to feel safe, and the even hum makes it easy to feel sleepy. A memory comes to them, nothing sharp, just a small recollection of being warm after cold, of stepping indoors with red cheeks and thawing fingers. It could be from childhood or last winter or any winter at all. The specifics don't matter. The feeling matters. Warmth arriving, tension leaving, the body realizing it can rest. The dryer's cycle ends with another quiet change in the soundscape. The deep tumbling stops. The room seems to take a small breath. The person stands and walks over, and when they open the dryer door, a wave of warm, clean air comes out, richer than before. It's the scent of detergent now fully settled into cloth, mingled with the gentle heat of drying, like freshly made beds, like folded towels in a cupboard, like the simple promise that tomorrow can start clean. They reach in and pull out a towel. It's warm, not just warm on the surface, but warm through its thickness, as if it has stored sunlight. The person holds it for a moment longer than necessary, letting the heat sink into their hands. The towel feels soft, fluffed by tumbling, edges slightly curled in a friendly way. It is weight without dampness, comfort without effort. They lay it on the folding table and smooth it once with their palms. Then they fold it in half, aligning corners, pressing lightly. Fold again, and the towel becomes a neat rectangle. The motion is simple, and because it's simple, it feels profound in the way bedtime rituals can feel profound. Brush teeth, wash face, turn down the covers, fold the towel. Each act says, without words, that you are taking care of yourself. They take out another towel, then another, folding each one the same way. The repetition is soothing. Lift, shake gently once to let it settle, lay flat, smooth, fold, fold. The fabric gives a quiet whisper with each movement, like a soft conversation. Warmth rises from the stack as it grows, a little tower of heat and clean scent. Next come shirts. They are warm too, but lighter, and they hold the warmth differently, more briefly, more like a sigh. The person folds them with care, guiding sleeves inward, matching edges, pressing the fold lightly. The cloth feels pliant and relaxed, as if it has let go of the week. Each shirt becomes a tidy square that stacks easily, and the stack looks calm and contained. Socks tumble out next, cozy and warm, and the person pairs them as they fold. The lonely sock from earlier finds its match at last, as if the laundromat has quietly resolved a small mystery. They pinch the toes together, roll the pair gently, and set it aside, satisfied. The person's hands keep moving in the same steady tempo as the machines around them. Even though their own dryer has stopped, other machines in the room continue, keeping the gentle soundtrack alive. The overall hum remains, a constant presence that makes the space feel held. As they fold, the person notices how their body feels now compared to when they arrived. Their fingers are warm. Their shoulders are loose. Their breathing is slow and easy. The cold outside seems far away, like a story someone told earlier in the day. Here, the air is safe. Here, the light is soft. Here, the only job is to fold warm fabric and put it neatly away. They place folded towels into their bag first, because towels can support everything else. They like the structure it creates, the way the bag becomes stable and well balanced. Then they add shirts and pants, sliding them in so they won't wrinkle too badly. Socks fill small gaps like soft punctuation marks. The bag becomes a contained, tidy bundle of clean warmth. When everything is packed, the person wipes a few stray lint bits from the table with the flat of their hand, a small gesture of respect for the next person who will use the space. They check the dryer drum once more to make sure nothing small has been left behind. No sock, no handkerchief. The drum is empty, clean, ready to begin again for someone else. They look around the laundromat one last time, taking in the glow, the warm air, the steady sound. They feel grateful for places like this, practical places that also happen to be comforting, places built for chores, but capable of offering rest. A laundromat at night can be a kind of shelter, not because anything dramatic is happening, but because nothing dramatic is required. You come in from the cold, you do something simple, and you leave with clean softness. At the entrance, the person pauses before opening the door. They can see the darkness outside, the street lamp's pale pool, the quiet snow along the curb. The contrast is strong, but it no longer feels threatening. The person's bag is warm with folded laundry, and that warmth feels like a small portable hearth. They open the door and step out. The cold air touches their face immediately, but now it's just cold, not shocking. The warmth from inside follows them for a second, spilling out like a gentle farewell before the door closes again. Their breath appears in the night, calm even. As they walk, the bag swings softly at their side. Inside it, towels and clothes hold their warmth for a while, creating a small pocket of comfort that travels with them. Each step makes a quiet crunch on the winter pavement. The street is still. Windows in nearby buildings glow faintly, like distant companions. The person heads home at the same unhurried pace. Their mind is quiet, not because they forced it to be, but because the evening has been made of simple, repetitive actions that naturally smooth thoughts into softer shapes. Sort, wash, dry, fold. Insert coins. Turn dial. Listen to the hum. Feel the warmth. When they reach their building, they climb the stairs slowly. The air inside is cooler than the laundromat, but warmer than outside, a gentle middle space. They unlock their door, step into their home, and close it behind them with a soft click. Inside, they set the bag down and begin to put things away. Towels go into their cupboard, stacked in a neat pile. The clean scent fills the small space when the door opens, then settles again when it closes. Shirts slide into drawers or hang on hangers, fabric smooth and obedient. Socks find their place. Everything fits. Everything belongs. The person pauses at the towel stack once more and runs their hand across the top towel, feeling how soft it is, how evenly it's folded, how warm the memory of warmth still feels. It's just a towel, and yet it's also proof that you can take an ordinary night and make it gentle, that you can do a small task and let it soothe you rather than drain you. They move toward bedtime without hurry. The apartment is quiet. Outside, the winter night continues its dark watch, but it stays beyond the walls. Inside, everything is calm. The person washes their hands and notices the lingering clean scent on their skin, faint but present, like the laundromat followed them home in the best possible way. In the bedroom, they turn down the light until the room is dim and soft. They pull back the covers and slip into bed. The sheets feel cool at first, then warm quickly where their body rests. They adjust the blanket, let it settle over their shoulders, and feel the familiar weight of it. They listen, and in the quiet they can almost still hear the laundromat's steady hum. A remembered rhythm: turn, hush, swish, thrum, click, breathe. Their breathing breathing slows again, matching that imagined tempo. They think of the warm air, the soft light, the neat piles of folded towels. They think of the gentle clink of coins, the patient turning of the drum, the clean scent rising like a promise. They let those thoughts be simple. They let them be enough. And as the night deepens outside, as the cold holds steady beyond the window, the person rests in the warm certainty of small, completed tasks. Laundry done, towels folded, clothes clean and put away. The world, for this moment, arranged into something quiet and safe. The steady hum, whether real or remembered, continues like a lullaby, constant, even dependable, until it becomes less like a sound and more like a feeling of warmth, a feeling of safety, a feeling of being held by ordinary light in the middle of winter darkness.